Hello everyone, it's Logan again, and after my last video where I tried to land on Minmus on every biome in just one launch, I decided to do it again, but this time with the moon. And as you guys know, the moon's a lot harder to do something like that on. So, this is the rocket I made, and it's basically asparagus staging at the bottom with the command module at the top with 3 nuclear engines on the bottom. That's going to be my descent, and then ascent and descent and re-descent, and that's going to be that stage. This is my first attempt at getting this into orbit, and everything seems to be going pretty darn well until a staging issue. Very Kerbal problem to have. Everything seemed to be fine, but then you hit that dreaded staging issue. So I figure, well, let's try and actually salvage something here. We don't want our Kerbals to die. So here we go. We're going down. Got the parachutes. Everything seems to be going well, except we're going a little bit too fast. Nice crash there in the background of debris. Yeah. 6.2 meters per second instead of 6. A little bit too fast. So back to the drawing board. Let's try this again. So here is attempt number 2. Staging issues are fixed. Right? Alright, so far so good. Yeah, setting up, getting ready to get into orbit here. Making our... Oh! No. There's another staging issue. Yeah. Oh, and again. Definitely looks cool, but I don't think that's going to be a salvageable orbital mission. So in between we also added some more parachutes, so hopefully we're not gaining altitude there, so might as well get rid of those, and hopefully we'll be able to actually splash down without destroying the whole ship and killing all the Kerbals. I think that's one of my favorite parts about Kerbal Space Program is seeing the debris come down in the background. So, okay, attempt number 3. At least we made it down safely that time. So here we go, we're well on our way to orbit. Already made our turn. Here we go, and then another staging issue. In this case, these Sepatrons fired on the wrong rockets, but didn't affect the mission, so we'll just rearrange the rest of them on the fly and then keep going. So far so good. And I really like the Kerbal music sped up at 3 or 5 times, and I feel like if that was how it was in the game itself, it would be a much more difficult game almost like Jeopardy music, constantly putting pressure on you to do it right and do it quick, which of course is exactly how the Kerbals like to live their lives. So of course I'm fast forwarding through all this. You guys don't need to see all the orbital maneuvers at this point. You're all pros at that, I'm sure. Although this time this was particularly annoying. It was being very, very sensitive, and no matter how I put it, I just could not get it to completely be in the right spot. I'm either way off, there you go, or too low. Periapsis is into the moon. So a lot of configuration here. It took a long time to figure that out, and eventually, as I got out of low Kerbin orbit, it just sort of corrected itself. Anyway, of course, doing a lot of science here, and it's at this point I realized I didn't bring any batteries. So luckily I have solar panels and I have thermoelectric generators. I was able to get that with all the science we got from Minmus, but no batteries. So while the while the mobile processing lab cleans out the goo canister and the materials bay, it uses all the power and it takes forever to recharge. So that was a problem, but at least I did have solar panels this time, unlike last time. And I brought some lights with, some landing lights. I decided to turn them on, and oh man, does that look cool. The green lights of science. I just had to stop and take a screenshot here, because I think that looks really, really cool. That looks awesome. I'm perhaps a bit too proud of myself at how nicely that turned out completely by coincidence. Okay, so we're going to attempt to land at the east far side crater first, and we're just going to go for it. Try and save fuel, just touchdown, no circular orbit. And here, separation, and it's stuck. So a little bit of maneuvering, just kind of break that free there, and bathed in the glowing green light of science. I love those lights. Anyway, now we're starting the descent, and I start to realize that perhaps we're going a little bit too fast here, so full speed. There we go, full speed. And yeah, I started that way too late, and I realize that now. And the problem with these nuclear engines is that they just don't have the thrust to weight. I mean, they're very, very efficient, but with all that fuel, they just don't have the thrust to weight ratio. Yeah, bye-bye. So, let's try that again. I'm confident we can do it. So, reload, try it again. Okay, so same thing, gets stuck again, but here we go. It's going down this time. We're a full speed ahead the whole time. We're going to need as much time as possible to be able to slow this down. Unfortunately, by burning full speed the entire time versus flaring at the last second, we're actually being less fuel efficient. So that's the trade-off. Luckily I have efficient engines. But it looks like we're going to do it here. It's coming down. Love the green landing lights there. Okay, yeah. Still way too fast, but they survived the initial impact. That's a success in Kerbal. And they survived the final impact. All of them survived. Just waiting to be rescued. So, that is a partial success in the Kerbal book. But that's not a success for this mission, so let's try it again. And of course at this point I'm reminded of some really interesting real-life program that followed exactly along the same lines, or at least I would be if I were Scott Manning. But of course, since I'm not, I know of absolutely no real-life mission that ever used nuclear engines to try and land the command module on the moon. So, coming into the final descent here, looking good. Going nice and slow. Everything seems to be checking out. And touchdown. Alright, touchdown on the first biome. I believe it's the East Far Side crater here, so let's gather all of the science. So we can head on over to the Far Side crater. That should be the next one around. But this craft just has such horrible thrust to weight ratio that efficiency, despite the nuclear engines, efficiency is just a lot lower than it really should be. So here I'm just struggling to maintain altitude, not crashing into mountains and whatnot. And I realize that I'm adding so much speed, so much kinetic energy to this thing that's going to take way more to try and slow it down and stop and land. But I figure, all right, I'm up in the air, so hey, let's try and do this here. So we're going to bring it down. And since we're passing over it, we'll just go ahead and land right in the highlands, get that biome as long as we're on the way. So here we go, coming down, everything's looking good. Except, it's a bit of a hill. That's not very good for a tall craft. Alright, careful, try and kill all the lateral velocity. Okay, we have that, but no, 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 no. Okay, okay, up. Alright, we can do this. We can still salvage it. Here we go. Come on. Okay, got it under control. Alright, kill the lateral velocity. Here we go. Now we're coming down. Good. Here we go. Nice and softening. No, it didn't kill all the velocity. Oh, no. Here we go. It takes so long to start up those engines. No. That. Oh, well, another partial success. At least in the Kerbal handbook. And of course, what explosion wouldn't be complete without a command module spinning out of control there. Alright, we got it under control, so let's get out and go investigate, make sure the rest of the crew's okay. That's part one. Come back for part two. Like if you like it, and of course, have a great day.